All right. So we were tasting Nestor Lasso's Thermal Shock Java. Let's kind of switch gears and taste Be Bright's Ombligon. Nestor Lasso Natural Thermal Shock Natural Ombligon. So completely opposite specs when you think about it. So we have now this much more unique varietal Ombligon. We have this Thermal Shock Natural versus Thermal Shock Wash. And this is also roasted in SoCal by Be Bright, which is run by Frank Law, who is 2024 US Barista Champion. This is the non-competition version of his coffee. We do have the competition version of his coffee, which is very similar to this one, but much more intense. So I wanted to brew this for you all. We have flavor notes of cherry, watermelon candy, raspberry, hibiscus. Kind of similar where we have red fruits, but the presentation is going to be very, very different. I've been tasting this coffee for the past few days, and it has been very, very interesting. So, first of all, you open this, you smell that fermentation. So, definitely smelling raspberry and hibiscus. It smells like a chocolate, like a really tasty chocolate. And you can definitely tell fermentation. The beans are a little bit darker from fermentation. So let's go ahead and brew. This is what I would really suggest. We have some of the Java here. I would suggest you pick up both of those coffees and taste them side by side. But this is, again, this is a coffee you can hand to a normal person. You can be like, hey, this is, the coffee can have acidity and fruitiness, and people will be very, very confused. Let's brew. Wow, that is fun. You definitely smell fermentation, watermelon fermentation, red. You know, you kind of can just pour water on them and you will taste fruits. That is what this smells like. I think this is a coffee that will be very impressive to taste over Father's Day. You hand this to your dad and you have him taste, be like, hey, there is fruitiness in coffee. And oh, wow. Definitely get that watermelon candy and raspberry red. It smells very, very red. Very impressive. This is definitely, you know, loud and in your face. The Nestor, the Java that we were tasting in the other video, very structured, very delicate, for sure loud for a wash coffee, for a cleaner presentation coffee. This is just loud in terms of processing, fermentation, and wow. Very, very different. I know for some of you more, you know, specialty coffee nerds, you enthusiasts, this is a coffee that is definitely very divisive, this style of coffee at least. For sure, coffee like this is very impressive, and it is very easy to taste, and it's super fun. But you definitely can tell that the flow, this is a coffee that flows very fast. You can be at, you know, 55 on the grind. You can even push this coffee a little bit harder, and you still get such fast flow because generally speaking, a lot of these more fermented coffees and processed coffees flow very fast when you start brewing. So you can definitely, you know, adjust grind and play around with that. Although I will say that I have tended to found lower temperatures and shorter contact time to be more beneficial, at least for me, because sometimes the processing can go into weird, harsh world, if that makes sense. But this is not actually that crazily process of a coffee. This is not a co-ferment. This is just Thermal Shock Natural. I think there is also an anaerobic step in here as well, but it is like, you know, pretty normal in today's landscape of processing. More so highlighting Ombligon and Nestor Lasso's ability to process coffees. There we go, 235, quick brew. And you can already see how dark that is. Look at that. Oh, wow. Candy, straight up like melted Jolly Ranchers, but cleaner than some of those crazy Colombian, like the nitro fermented watermelon Jolly Ranchers coffees. Jeez, I mean, it's red. I mean, the crazy thing is that there is a more intense version of this coffee. Wow. Melted Jolly Ranchers. Watermelon, raspberry. I do see maybe a little bit of milk chocolate at the back. This is such a loud coffee. And you can also tell that the processing, this is kind of a funny thing, even though it is a very fermented coffee, very loud coffee, the actual fermentation is not crazy funky. It is funky, it is loud, it is intense, but the processing, in my opinion, at least for a coffee that is supposed to be like this, is not overdone. And I think that is what is really impressive with a coffee like this. And, you know, it's like when you do this style of coffee, it really is harder, I think. It's like when you go too far, it's like, how do you just almost go to what is too much, but then pull back, right? And you either do that at a processing end, which I think totally happened here, but at a brewing end, right? We see that this is, declining temperature brew. It's on the lower end, 91, 92 Celsius, and it is a very fast contact time. When it cools down, the raspberry and hibiscus are really, really popping. And there is this nice, I would say, milk chocolate note towards the back. And this is just, yeah, I mean, it's super easy to taste. Like you don't really need to think much about what is happening in this coffee. And I think that is what is really impressive with, more competition styles of coffee. And, these are coffees you can hand to normal people and be like, here you go. Your room is going to smell crazy. You're going to be blown away by what is possible in here. But definitely is a coffee where if you did like more louder, fermentier styles of coffee, this is totally that, but not overdone, if that makes sense. I really like this raspberry presentation, this like red fruit presentation. It is fun. This is also a great coffee you can brew over ice. It's also a great coffee just to kind of enjoy by itself. There's a lot happening here. Let's real quick taste it against the Java, and I'll give you my opinion on that. So our Java, which we brewed a little bit ago, herbals, I want to say way cleaner, way more delicate and tropical. I would say that if I were to rank maybe the level of expressiveness of that acidity, I think it's maybe like a 7 out of 10, like in terms of level of expressiveness, but it's detailed, it's delicate, it's structured. The two unique things about this coffee are tropical and herbality. This here is red. It's just red. Well, red and then milk chocolate at the back, I would say, but super, super red tasting. So that's why we wanted to feature these coffees side by side, because you can essentially taste very different expressions of fantastic coffees, right? Like these are coffees that are processed in very unique ways. They also are unique varietals, and they taste quite different, right? They taste very, very different, in fact. And for you to taste them side by side is really, really fun. And I think with coffee, comparative tasting is the way to go. The Java is tasting really, really great. Ombligon's tasting really great. Both super unique expressions. But for sure, the Ombligon, I think, is going to be very, very impressive. I don't think I could daily drink the Ombligon. I think I could totally daily drink the Java. So that's kind of the craziness with these Nestor Lasso coffees, but such different expressions. I want to taste these coffees for you all, but otherwise, thank you so much for spending time to watch this video. Feel free to pick up this coffee from our website. If you also want, this experience that we just had with the Ombligon, but even more crazy, you can get the competition version of this Ombligon. Also roasted by Be Bright, and that is the competition coffee that Frank used in his US Barista routine. So yeah, there you go. Thank you guys so much for spending time to watch this video. If you have any questions, let us know, but otherwise I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.